back to my channel. So for today's video, it is still going to be book related, but I thought I would just do a little get to know me video, as I realised I started this channel and I didn't tell you anything about myself, so I thought it'd be a fun little video to do. So I thought I would just get ready for the day because I'm going out with my mum, and I would answer a few little questions about myself that I've just found online, and yeah. So while I do my base, which is like my primer and my foundation and stuff, I'll tell you what products I'm using. It's not that interesting though, because they're not really fancy. They're just whatever products I can get for cheapest. I'll just go over the basics about me. So to start off with, I'm doing my primer, which is the Revolution Colour Correct primer, which is green and sometimes does tint me green, which makes me kind of look like Shrek, but it's fine. So just let's start off with just basics. So my name is Natalie, I am 24 and I am from the UK, as you can probably tell. I live in a small little village in Cheshire, and I live with my mum, my brother, my older brother and his girlfriend. Well, actually fiance now, need to get that right, they got engaged over Christmas. And yeah, I have two pet guinea pigs called Ginger and Jellybean, which I will insert a picture of here. And I also have my cat Walter, who I'll set a picture of here. I've only had Ginger and Jellybean since July of last year, so they're not even a year old yet. But I've had Walter since I was 11. He is the family cat. We love him to bits. He's an absolute little baby. He's so adorable. You wouldn't think by the photo that he is literally that. Actually no, he's 13 years old now, damn, so you wouldn't think he's 13, but he is. Well, he's almost 13, he turns 13 soon. But yeah, obviously from this channel you can tell that I love to read. It's one of my main hobbies, but I also just love spending time with my family, watching TV and watching Netflix. I also do a little bit of cosplay on my Marauders account. If you don't know what Marauders is, it's Harry Potter's parents and their friend group, and I'm a massive that's a massive part of something that I love because I'm obsessed with Harry Potter. No, I don't stand JK Rowling. I'm just a Harry Potter fan. I don't justify anything that she does. But yeah, no, I love anything like Harry Potter and stuff. Ignore the fact I look like Casper the Ghost right now. This is just because of my concealer. It gets better when I put on my foundation and everything. It's just I have very weird skin tone, so finding an exact match for my face and everything, not an easy task. But yeah, no, where was I? So yeah, I love to cosplay, I watch TV all the time. I also do a little bit of role-playing on Discord with my friends and stuff. And yeah, no, I'm just honestly a very basic person. I don't really do much apart outside of my house. I suffer from depression and anxiety, which is something I very happily talk about openly because I feel like there should be no stigma around mental health. Jesus, this is making me look paler than I am. I'm not this pale really, I swear. I'm turning down the brightness of my thing. Whatever, it's fine. Anyway, as I was saying, I suffer from depression and anxiety, which means that I find it very hard to do a lot of normal daily tasks, but I still try my best to do them. For example, skincare and stuff, that is not something I do very often, but today I had the energy, which is weird considering I've had no sleep and I'm filming this video, but you know, I do my skincare when I can. If I don't do it, I try not to beat myself up, but that is something that I struggle with because I also deal with a lot of self-hatred. But yeah, no, it's something that I am working on, and this channel is something that I am trying to do to improve my health and everything, because it means I'm being more open about who I am and what I love to do and not being ashamed of it. So there's not much else I can say about myself really. In like basics, I haven't been in education for a few years. and I had a few jobs over the last few years because obviously I am 24, but I left my job in October of last year and I am now starting university in September of 2024, which I'm really excited about. I'm doing a creative writing course with a foundation year because I haven't been accepted on normal standards for university. I didn't do A-levels or anything. I just did my GCSEs, which I didn't do the best in. So I do need to go to university and do a foundation year first to get me used to university life and also like the way that they grade and everything. Just realised I forgot to show my foundation and concealer. So I use the exact same thing for both. So it's the L'Oreal Paris Infallible 24, well actually no, this is a bit different. The concealer is L'Oreal Paris Infallible 24 More Than Concealer. This is in the shade Porcelain, and then I'm using the L'Oreal Paris Infallible 32 Hour Fresh Wear Foundation, which is in the shade Porcelain again. I have tried going up a shade to make me look less pale, but it just doesn't work. My skin tone is very, very weird, like I said. Now I'm going to be using my Rimmel Stay Matte powder, which is in transparent. I actually need to buy a new one of these because I hit pan quite a while ago and I need to buy a new one. But yeah, so you know, that's all the basic information on myself. Obviously, like, I do have friends and stuff, and I'm close to some of my family, and yeah, but now I think it's time to move on to, oh wait, that's the wrong brush, never mind. Now it's time to move on to the more bookish questions. So my first question I got my first two questions from my best friend Remy, who I've mentioned on this channel multiple times. The funny thing is, me and Remy actually only met in July of this year, and honestly, like, I found him through a TikTok video. We got messaging on Discord and we're basically inseparable at this point. We haven't met in person yet, unfortunately, but I will be meeting him later this year, and I will be filming a video for my channel of that, just because he's a very big part of my life and he's done a lot for me in the last few months when I've really been struggling with my mental health. But anyway, yeah, he gave me a couple of questions I'm going to answer, and then the rest I've just found on the internet and I'm just going to do them. So the first question he gave me was my favourite book of all time. So this is a book that I've never heard anyone mention before, and that is probably because they're not like a well-known author or anything. They're not even like an author who publishes books all the time. It's literally Zoe Sugg, and I can never pronounce the name of the second author, so I'm going to quickly Google it. Okay, so yeah, it's by Zoe Sugg and Amy McCulloch. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm honestly not sure, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, no, the Magpie Society is, well, the Magpie Society duology is my favourite series of all time. I read this book a couple of years ago and it got me out of a 4-year reading slump. Like, I had been in a slump for 4 years. I had been doing new stuff with my life, and I was at that stage in my life where I was like, oh, I'm too cool now to be reading all the time. That's not the case. Not in the slightest. I think just the whole, like, leaving high school and everything made me think that. But yeah, no, I read this book in literally like 4 days. I think I read it in lockdown, actually. Or it was actually just before lockdown. It was the very, very start of 2020, so it was just before we went into lockdown. I'm now going to be doing my bronzer, by the way, which is, I think, it's Maybelline. Yeah, I think it's Maybelline and it's City Bronze. I can't tell you the shade because, oh wait, it's medium warm. It doesn't really have a name, but yeah, I'm doing that now. I don't do too much bronzer because obviously, as I've said, I am very pale, so if I do too much, it will literally turn me orange. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, the Magpie Society, it got me out of a 4-year slump, and it made me love reading again. And it was around that same time that I found BookTok, and I started getting recommendations from there. And I think if I hadn't found the Magpie Society and started reading it, because I've been watching Zoe for years, ever since I was in like high school. I've read her Girl Online series, which is another one of her books that I love. Then I don't think I would have gone on to BookTok, and then I wouldn't be doing my booktube videos like I am now. I swear this camera makes my makeup look horrendous, but I swear it's not this bad in real life. It's just the camera is messing me up because it's literally an iPhone camera. They're not great. That is something I am going to be doing this year. I'm getting myself a proper camera to film these videos on, because filming on an iPhone all the time and editing on it is not that great. But you know, I've just finished with my bronzer. I'm now going to make a start on my eyeshadow. If my eye would stop watering, that would be great. So yeah, no, the next question I got was a book or series that made your childhood. So I didn't read very much when I was a kid. Obviously I read a little bit, but I got more into it as I got a bit older. But a book series that honestly I loved more than anything, and I read like religiously basically, was the Rainbow Magic books. If you ask me now what any of those books were about, probably couldn't tell you. I only remember it was about 2 girls and a bunch of fairies. That's all I can tell you about those books. But at the time, they were literally the peak of my childhood. I literally had a copy of, I think it was Holly the Christmas Fairy or something, and it came with a free Christmas decoration, and you best believe I made my mum put that on our Christmas tree because I was that obsessed with it, and I loved it so much. I even once, when I got a bit older and I was still reading them, because honestly I don't like letting go of stuff, I read it to my younger cousin, and she actually enjoyed the book. But yeah, no, I really genuinely, those books are the only books I can really remember from reading in my childhood. Although if you ask my mum, apparently I was very much obsessed with Blue's Clues, because apparently I wouldn't settle on a bus unless she was reading me Blue's Clues. But that's her word against mine. So as you can probably tell, I am doing my eyeshadow. I am using the Morphe 35S Sweet Oasis palette. I've had this for a little while now, and honestly I have hardly touched it. I've had it I think for like 2 years and I've barely even used it. I don't honestly do my makeup that often, and I know I should replace it a lot more frequently than I do, but who has the money or time for that? But yeah, no, that's the only 2 questions that Remy sent me, but I have found a few online that I'm going to answer now. So the first one is reading with or without music. I personally can't read if I'm not listening to music. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can't have any noise or anything when I'm reading. I know my mum is like that. She can't listen to music or anything when she's reading. But for me personally, if I don't have music on, then I can't concentrate on my book, because like the bass of the music helps me like focus in on it, and it makes me actually be able to concentrate on the book. But yeah, no, so it's definitely, I have to listen to music, and it can be it has to be music that I know. So if it's a new song, I can't listen to it while I'm reading, because I need to be able to know the song and know the bass of it and know the lyrics for me to be able to block it out while I'm reading. But yeah, so I've just done the base on my eyeshadow. I used, oh my god, put that mirror down, this shade here, which is called Alfresco, and I think I'm probably going to go for like a bronzy goldy look today. So I'm probably going to use Go Barefoot, which is this gold one here, on the outer corner of my eyes. So yeah, no, the next question is, what is your favourite genre of book? Now, this changes constantly for like the time of like I can't speak, what kind of like mood I'm in, because I'm definitely a mood reader. But in regards to like all-time favorite genre, is probably romance. They are the books that got that I've always loved the most. I've always loved reading romance books. If a book doesn't have any romance in, 9 out of 10 times I'll probably put it down and not read it because I just genuinely don't enjoy it. So I have, honestly, I obviously, like, that is my favourite genre of all time, but I do very much like fantasy more now. I've been getting into reading fantasy a lot more, but like I said, it has to have romance in, so it's more romantasy that I read. I've not read many fantasy books. I think the only ones I've really read is Fourth Wing, and I read the Shadowhunter series. I don't know if that is classed as fantasy. I think it is. I've not read all of them. I've just read the Mortal Instruments, and also my all-time favourite book of last year, Secrets of the Dead by Laura Carter. Everyone should go pick up that book. But yeah, no, I've not read much fantasy, but they were all like romantasy books. They obviously had romance in them. So yeah, no, I think romance is definitely my all-time favourite genre. Next is, do I prefer happy endings or sad endings to books? I am a happy ending kind of girl. I already cry enough in my life as it is. I don't need a book making me cry, although I did have my first book ever make me cry, as you saw from my previous video. When I read Say You Swear, that book sent me into tears. But yeah, no, I'm a happy ending kind of girl. I want a happy ending in my book. So if a book doesn't have a happy ending, it will make me not like it, and I'll probably rate it lower because it doesn't have the happy ending that I want. I think that's why I am a romance person, because with romance books, you're guaranteed a happy ending, because it's not exactly a romance book if they don't end up together at the end. Okay, so another question I found was, why did you start your booktube channel? So obviously I originally started posting on TikTok because I'm a book talker, which my book talk is linked in the description below. So I originally started on there because I got into the book talk community, like I said, back in 2020 with originally Kate's books, and it just made me want to create my own content, because there's a lot of books that I love to read that I've just never seen on book talk, like I said, the Magpie Society or the Morganville Vampire series. And like, I rarely see the Shadowhunter books on there. I know they are popular and people do read them, but I hardly see them on book talk. So I started out on there, and then I realised there's a lot of videos I want to create that are a lot longer, like this one for example, that you can't really create on TikTok because people go on TikTok for shorter videos. Whereas a lot of people, at least for me, I go onto YouTube for longer, like talky videos like this, which I think is why I love Zoe Suggs' channel so much, because her vlogs are literally like 40-minute long and I love them so much. But yeah, no, so I wanted to basically have a place where I could make longer videos and just talk more about books and like life in general and stuff, because there's a lot of things I want to share about my life that I just honestly want to share, to be completely honest, and I really enjoy doing stuff like this and being on like book talk and booktube. I've met wonderful people, like the people who I mentioned in the last video, Kate, Geordie, Mal. I also met Alexa, who I mentioned in my January TBR. She recommended I read Lightlock, which is actually my first book of the year. And yeah, no, I've met loads of absolutely incredible people who I just love talking to every day. I've even met my favourite author, Laura Carter, because I met her through a server I'm on Discord because of book talk, and I got to know her a little bit, and I've read her book and it's literally my favourite book of last year, and she is now my favourite author. So it just proves that like being out in the community really does just change a lot of stuff for me. And yeah, that's honestly why I just started my channel. Next is now this one is, do you prefer a good guy or a bad guy in a book? Now I prefer the bad guys. Honestly, like, I prefer a bad boy in a book because I think the good guys are just so freaking boring. Like, I've noticed whenever I'm reading a book or I'm watching a TV show, I'm always rooting for the like morally grey guy. So like, or like the darker guy. So for example, when I'm watching the Vampire Diaries, and Geordie, if you're watching this, you know what I'm about to say, I prefer Damon to Stefan, because I feel like Stefan is too much of a goody-goody and he's too much like a vanilla guy, whereas Damon, he is a baddie and I love him so much. And he's just like, he's obviously not the good guy because a lot of the stuff he does isn't good, but honestly, like, it just kind of makes me love him a bit more. Obviously, I don't condone people doing bad things and violence, but these are fictional characters, people. If I actually met a bad guy in real life, I'd be running for the hills because I'd be fearing for my life. Oh, by the way, I just used a bit of like a sparkly silver colour in the inner corner of my eyes, and that was called Windsurf. I'm really bad at this kind of stuff. I know I've done anything like this before. But anyway, now I am moving on to my mascara, which is the Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational Mascara. I love this mascara, it's so freaking good. I've gone through so many different mascaras over the years and I've never found any that are as good as this. But yeah, no, I definitely go for the bad guy in books. I just prefer them. Like, I just think they're great. Or like the guys who aren't just all goody-goody and they have a bit of a dark past. I just love them. And of course, I blobbed my mascara under my eye. But yeah, no, let's go on to the next question in a second. There we go. Okay, so the next question is a book or series that I DNF'd. So I've not really DNF'd that many. Normally I try and force myself through a book, because I don't like DNFing a book. If I've started it, I want to finish it. Probably why I continued with Riverdale for so long, because I don't like stopping doing something in the middle. But yeah, I only really started DNFing properly in the last year, and the ones that I DNF'd were Confess by Colleen Hoover. Honestly, it bored me and I just wasn't enjoying it. Like, I think I read the first like 90 pages and I was just like, no, don't want this anymore. And then the series that I DNF'd was the After series by Anna Todd. I read the first 2 books in that series, and then honestly after that I got more into reading. I started reading different books, and then I realised how trash those books actually are. The writing in them, no, just no. So yeah, no, I started reading better books, and then I tried going back to that series last year and I had to DNF. I think it's After We Fell. The movies I don't mind, honestly. I kind of actually enjoy the movies because they're stupid, they're dumb movies, but I enjoy them. So yeah, I quite enjoy them. So I still watch the movies, but I never finished the book series. Okay, so a trope I love to see, honestly, enemies to lovers. I said I like the bad guys, and that's normally enemies to lovers. A lot of all my favourite books do have an enemies to lovers friendship in them. I do also kind of enjoy friends to lovers, but not as much. I've only read a couple of friends to lovers books, but yeah, no, I really love enemies to lovers, and it's just great. But I also do love Best Friend's Brother as well. I just think that's like such a good one. Or Older Brother's Best Friend. So a comfort read or character, the Heartstopper comics. Honestly, that entire series it brings me so much joy. I've read all the Heartstopper books so many freaking times and it just makes me smile. I just love them. I've literally read all the comics and I've read the novellas multiple times, and I've watched the TV series so many times. Just Nick and Charlie and their relationship and everything, it's just such a comfort and I enjoy it so much. So now I'm going to move on to my blush, and I'm using the L'Oreal Paris Blush of Paradise in the shade Life is a Peach. But yeah, no, I will always love those comics, and I will forever be rereading them. I literally have multiple copies of them because I love them that much. So yeah. My last disappointing read, that honestly is gonna have to be We Hunt the Flame. I've had that book on my TBR for a very long time, and I really expected to love it because everything I heard about it was just so good. But honestly, just something about like the writing style and everything of it, it just wasn't for me. I just really couldn't, I struggled to get through it. Obviously I did finish it. It was my last book of last year, but that's why it was only a 3-star, because I did like the premise of the story and I genuinely really enjoyed the ending of it. But honestly, getting through the first part of the story, just no, not easy. I do still want to read the sequel to that book though, because like I said, I can't leave anything unfinished, and there's a second book and it left on a cliffhanger, so I kind of need to read the sequel. So the longest book I have ever read is one that I read last year, and that was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. That was an 800-page book. I do want to get into like the ACOTAR series and like Sarah J Maas's world this year, so that's going to obviously change because who I always talk to on TikTok and Discord and stuff, she raves about those all the time and it's like her favourite series, or one of her favourite series anyway. And yeah, she says the books are really good, so I want to get into them this year. I have A Court of Thorns and Roses, so I'm going to read that first before I buy any of the others, because I was just going to bite the bullet and like buy the entire series next time I have a decent amount of money, but they convinced me not to, so I think I'm just going to get them whenever I can. I'm just going to read the first book, and if I like them I'll buy the rest, because I do want to read all of them, because Remy really loved the Crescent City books, so I do want to read them as well, but obviously I need to read ACOTAR and stuff before that. So the lipstick I used was a Morphe matte liquid lipstick in the shade Schoolgirl. It's one of my favourite lips. I love like matte liquid lipsticks. I don't really like just normal lipsticks, so I don't think they stay as long. But you know, I love like matte ones. So I'm just gonna quickly run and get dressed, and then I'll be back and I will answer the last couple of questions that I have. Just realised I hadn't done my setting spray. I used the Maybelline New York Lasting Fix setting spray. I'm just going to quickly do that before I start getting changed and ruin my makeup. If you can hear popping, just ignore that. My wrists always make weird noises. Okay, I'm just going to quickly get dressed and then I'll come back and show you my outfit. So I've just gone with a very simple outfit today of a little pink crop top that I got from Primark, and then some Primark leggings, just because we're just doing shopping and stuff today, so I don't want to do anything too fancy. And then as for my hair, it's literally just coming out of a bubble, because honestly, curly hair, just don't brush it. If it doesn't need it, don't brush it, because it will just become a frizzy mess. And yeah, but I know that is the outfit for today, and I'm going to just pair it with a jacket, obviously, because it's freezing cold outside, and some little black boots. So that is it for obviously my hair, makeup and outfit. I'm just going to answer a couple more questions while I quickly just pat on my body mist and my perfume. So the last couple of questions is my bookish goals for this year. So if I'm being completely honest, I want to read more books this year than I did last year. So last year I ended the year on 50 books. the body mist I'm using is Ari by Ariana Grande. So I want to try and maybe get to like 55, 60. It's not much more than the previous year, but honestly, I just want to read more books, and I own so many and I keep buying more, so I feel like I need to make a start on actually reading them and not read as many on my Kindle and stuff. Even if, like, obviously if I own the physical copy and I read it on my Kindle, that's fine, because I'm still technically reading the physical copy of my book. But yeah, so yeah, I want to probably read around about 60 books this year. I want to make reading a priority but not force it. If I'm not in the mood to read, I'm not going to read. I didn't read at all yesterday because I just wasn't really in the mood for it. I'm now doing my perfume, which is Flash by Jimmy Choo. This was a present I got for my birthday off my oldest friend Melissa, when I went to visit her in London in October. So she gave me that. It was like a birthday / Christmas present. But yeah, so yeah, I don't want to press myself to read anything. I want to upload more content on my YouTube channel. I'm going to try and maybe do more than one video a week if I can, but honestly I'm struggling with the one a week at the moment. And I want to upload all more on my Bookstagram and my book talk, which obviously are all linked in the description below. But yeah, no, I just want to enjoy reading and just have fun with it, because I love books and I just want to be in more worlds like that. But yeah, so I think I'm just going to do one more question, because I am finished getting ready now and I don't want to be sat here chatting for ages. So the last one I'm going to do is my favourite book to movie adaptation. This is quite hard because there isn't very many book to movie adaptations that I like that much. Honestly, like, to be honest, it's probably the Red, White and Royal Blue movie adaptation. I loved that book so much and I loved the movie, because I just thought it was incredible. And yeah, no, I think they did a really good job with the casting and everything. There's a couple of movie adaptations obviously that I don't like, and I could talk about them for ages. Like, for example, the Percy Jackson movies. The TV show is way better, even though I do still like the movies a little bit. But yeah, no, there's plenty of movies out there that are really bad, and there's one that are coming out this year or next year or something. Like, for example, End With Us, that comes out soon, and I don't have high hopes for that movie, to be completely honest, because I wasn't the biggest fan of the casting. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Blake Lively. I'm rewatching Gossip Girl at the moment, but yeah, no, she just wasn't the Lily Bloom that I envisioned, to be completely honest. But yeah, no, that's it for this video. I'm going to be going out in the next like hour or so with my mum, so if you want to see more videos like this, leave a comment below. If you have any more questions for me, just drop them in the comments and I will try and do another video like this. And I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you next time.